Hello, welcome everyone to another series of my battle reports. This time we'll be doing vHaqq run and a really quick short story before we start the actual run of the games. So Vanilla vHaqq is a faction that I've never played in 3 and 4, sorry, and in 3 I've played it a couple of times, mostly like meme lists with 20 or something dilamis. I've had a collection of vHaqq miniatures for quite a long time since I really dig their lore and the aesthetic, but gameplay not so much, so be mindful that this is a faction that's like on the opposite spectrum of what I would say is my playstyle, because this is not really a like defensive faction. It's like I have a lot of really small gripes with vHaqq, but I always wanted to try them out, and I felt that there's might be never a better time than, you know, end of N4, shortly before N5, there is no ITS season to speak of, so wanted to go ahead and have some fun. This tournament will be playing in Wroclaw, and as you might or might not know, we basically in Poland had a really big flood of like water, a lot of rainings, and like our rivers, floods basically, right? And Wrocław was actually like in the middle of eye of the storm, which meant that a lot of our players chickened out at the last moment and dropped out of the event scared of the flood. But I personally have complete disregard for my safety when it comes to wargaming and miniatures, and I decided to risk it for the biscuit, right? So we'll be playing Vanilla vHaqq. As you might see on the photo, we will be doing Magariba, so sorry, the other way around, the Magariba list, right? So without further ado, let's just get right into the business. We'll be playing Oblique Assault, which is Val's custom mission, which in short, this is like annihilation with extra steps, and this is round 1 of the 5. So, this is really quickly my outfit. This is me as a shake with a shake, right? That you get the joke. I actually bought this hat for the tournament just to have some meme, and I played against my friend, which wore his monkey mask, and we had a lot of fun while basically role playing. So, let's just get into the Morats list, right? So, the Morat list, really quickly. We have a good old fireteam core. We have the Kornak, the Man, the Myth, the Legend, the Vanguard Paramedic, the Dartok, the Suryat Multispectral Visor, and the Kaitok. Nothing really to talk about, this is as standard as it gets. Probably the only non-standard thing you could have is Yaogat, but this is as standard as it gets, right? We have the Osnet with 2 Gakis, and my opponent decided to cut the usual Preta and save the 3 points somewhere. So yeah, the usual or the battery Harris, right? So nothing unusual when it comes to this type of models. Then of course 2 Icadrons, because why would you not take the Icadrons? And now we're getting to more spicier stuff, right? So because my opponent really made this list more for the fun, so don't really talk about it in competitive standpoints, we have 2 Raziats, right? Raziat number 1, Raziat number 2, both of them have Spitfires instead of any other combination of profiles. But at the end of the day, there are still parachutists in the deployment zone. They have still the charges, eclipse grenades. They're really good at close combat. So the Raziats are really valuable pieces in any Morat list. The Spitfires, I mean, if you already invest 37 points, might as well give him a Spitfire. That's like my idea. But taking 2 Raziats, it's probably not the way to go, right? They are very much too expensive, and if one Raziat does not do the job, second one won't do the job as well, which you will be able to see in this particular game. Then we have 3 Dart Razzies, which that Razzies are good, but the idea to create Harris of them just also does not really make sense. But my opponent is not exactly the best that Ballon can offer, so he did his list for fun. That's how it goes. Now let's just get into the my list, right? So we'll be doing Magariba list. And quick disclaimer, this is completely Pezhan's list, 100% Pezhan list, because I have absolutely no idea how to build Vanilla vHaqq list, and in particular Magariba list. Since with usual vHaqq good stuff, I know what I want to take in this list, right? Because I've played so often against those type of models that I can kind of recreate it and give my own spin on it. But against Magariba, I think I've played it once in my life, it was N3, so no idea there. So we have the Magariba. We obviously have 2 hackers, Barit number 1 and Barit number 2, to protect the Magariba from the enemy hackers, total control it back if necessary. And we're trying to fill the list with all of the good pieces, right? So the idea behind this list, as Pezhan explained, is Magariba is turn 1 gunfighter, then Mukhtar is turn 2 gunfighter, then Asawira is the turn 3 gunfighter. So you technically have 1 model for each turn to pump orders into. Then we have the good pieces, which are Al Jabel, and we have the Zuleika to do killing stuff with. and we have vHaqq that duos with the Mukhtar, right? So this is a duo. So I think that's kinda, and you know, obviously the Libero. So I think this is as good as it gets when it comes to Magariba list, but this is still a Magariba, right? And Magariba by herself is not necessarily a very bad profile in vacuum. It's just that the cost combined with the fact that she's silhouette 8 means that it's extremely difficult to hide her, and it's extremely awkward to maneuver her around. And if Magariba didn't have a silhouette 7, I mean, didn't have silhouette 8 and it had silhouette 7, it probably would be an okay-ish tag. I mean, out of 5 games, I only played Magariba in the first round, and it was mostly due to the tables, because I was really scared to put the Magariba on the table in case if I don't go fast. So yeah, that's basically it. And group 2, we have 34 points to fill up group 2. So we have two Gazis with jammers to protect our Magariba from bears and other stuff. We have the Monstracker with the Nazmat, and Monstracker is basically cheaper engineer that comes with a free Nazmat when you compare it to the regular one. And since we don't need regular orders anyway in group 2, we might as well just take a Monstracker, right? And just get an extra worker for our trouble. The Monstracker also comes with droppers, which will be quite useful this game. And finally the worker. Important to note that we have 14 pieces on the table combined, which means we are telegraphing an Nadir. We're kind of saying to our opponent that we might have an Nadir, which is good, right? Because no one expects Magariba to cost that much, I think, because it's so rare of a profile. So we win the Lieutenant role, and I ended up deciding to go first because well, Haqqislam, right? If you die, you want to go first, and kill stuff, you always want to go first. So, without further ado, we have Zaleika on this side of the table. Then we have first of the Gazis, which covers this kind of area. The other Gazi, which covers this area. And it's worth noting that we're playing against Morats, which means that jammers are basically worthless, and we want to maximize the chain rifle potential. So this one has a boarding shotgun, right, which means like a sort of this bubble, and the other one has a chain rifle, which could probably go way around here. Then we also, or maybe the other way around, because the Mukhtar is here, and we want to have smoke near the Mukhtar. So this is probably the jammer one, the boarding shotgun one, and this is the chain rifle. So Mukhtar duos with vHaqq in the middle. And again, to explain anyone that does not know oblique assault, is basically kill mission, and you have 1, 2, 3 consoles that you only need to hack by the end of the game. So this vHaqq will be ready to take the middle console. We have the buried killer hacker, yeah, I think it's a killer hacker, ready to take this console, and then finally we have the other buried, which is the regular hacker, ready to take this console. So again, we have the Monstracker here, and we have the Nazmat here. So because here and here we have the engineers, we can deploy Magariba in sort of this kind of area, right? So we can deploy behind this hidden building, right? We can deploy here, we can deploy here, we can deploy here. And again, because Magariba is so tall, we, for example, cannot deploy the Magariba in this position. The reason is that there is I can worry that my opponent has a Yaugat or something, and it's like it will be really awkward to maneuver Magariba around, and it's kind of awkward when Magariba cannot do anything because she's too big. So yeah, and then finally we have the flash pulse, which will be able to provide hacking area for the Magariba in case it is located there. So this killer hacker provides this area against the name pitchers, and this flash pulse provides this area against enemy pitchers. So if my opponent wants to total control of Magariba, they would have to go through the buried, or at the very least it will waste an order or two. Then again, Libero and the mine. So there's not really much to talk about because there is nothing in this list. But yeah, we still have a Jabal to work off. So my opponent deploys his fire team core around here. Then finally Suryat will be his reserve piece located here on the building. The Daturaz is located this space. Then we have Oznat, Gaki, and Gaki. I reserve deployed the Jabal Hill, and I reserve deploy the Magariba here. And this is where I want to start my approach. What I want to do is I want to kill as many orders as possible, and kill the enemy link, basically. You always want to go for the Morat link, because the Morat fire team is a powerhouse, which means that they will play their active turn off of this link, and at the same time they will play their reactive turn with. So at some point you have to contend with this fire team, and it's better to contend it with it when you are at your fullest, when you are the strongest, instead of, you know, trying to play around it and later down the line you are forced to interact with this fire team anyways, and suddenly you don't have any tools to do it. So my advice against Morats is try to deal with the fire team as soon as possible, because I presume you have a way to tackle a Morat link, because, you know, that's kind of list building 101. So yeah, the Morat they played here, and we start our turn. The idea is that Magariba has a mine dispenser, right? I don't want to take the fight against the Suryat that's going to be located here, right? Suryat. I don't want to take the fight with the Magariba. So what I do instead is I move the Magariba around here in the position where I am able to fight the Suryat in the next order. But I'm going here and I'm shooting mine dispenser, because Magariba has a mine dispenser here. This covers this Vanguard Paramedic, and this also covers this Ordnat in case she wants to take a dodge or anything against the Jabal. After the mine is placed here, the Jabal starts moving this direction. It gets discovered once by the Gaki, and this is no big deal. We then maneuver around the Kaitok, and at this point my opponent has a difficult choice to make. And this difficult choice of his is, this is how you correctly have to play the situation. The fire team delays, which means that the Vanguard Paramedic under the stair delays. Those guys delay, even though they have nothing to shoot at. This Kaitok dodges to A, tank the mine, right? So takes the mine for the first. And second of all, if the Fidei goes around it, in which it did, you can get the dodge to see it again with the chain rifle. This would also really be worthwhile to dodge with the Oznat once the stealth is broken, because the mine will either go off this direction or this direction, so one of them will die anyways. But my opponent makes a mistake and decides to dodge with everyone. So this Vanguard and this Kaitok dodges. The mine explodes in this direction but fails to do anything because Kaitok is, you know, 5 armor. But this opens up a way for me to throw a smoke grenade on top of the Kaitok. If the Vanguard delayed, then I couldn't risk the smoke grenade, so I'd have to do something against the Vanguard, which is very iffy because this would be 15s versus 18s, right? So this is not a fight I want to gamble on. But my opponent decides to dodge with everyone, which gives me a free smoke on a 16. So the smoke goes off, and Jabal quickly goes to the Kaitok, shanks him. The Vanguard tries to dodge away but fails to do it, like that tries to dodge away from the smoke but can't. So this guy is deleted. Next order, Jabal goes into base to base with the Vanguard, very easily handily kills him with his viral CCV, and then starts climbing on top of these stairs. I arrive at the top of the stairs, threaten templates. Those guys basically respond with shooting, like everyone decides to shoot except for the flashpot. I put templates on those guys, and the end result is Kaitok dead, Vanguard dead, Kornak takes a wound, Suryat burns to death because continuous damage, and my guy gets deleted. So at this point this is extremely good turn because I kill the Suryat, I kill basically 3 out of 5 models from the Vanguard team, and I'm really happy about it. I don't have to take the fight with Magariba, which means that again tags are tags. Yeah, so we end up moving Magariba to this position and move Zamira or Zuleika with her own order, and we run out of orders because this list has a lot of orders. And it's up to my opponent's turn, and my opponent has nothing, no SWC weapons on the board, so this means he needs to have a Raziat. I kinda expect one and a Tariot, but my opponent surprises me with the Raziat. He takes some time, also worth noting is that the Monster Trucker comes up, throws a mine next to the Magariba, just to prevent any smoke access, and then Magariba is standing here menacingly. So the first Suryat comes up here, moves this position, engages into the Magariba, where outside of 16 but in 10 inch range, I respond with shoot back, I crit the Raziat and Raziat just go explodes. My opponent starts, he kinda gets upset about the crit, rightfully so, so he decides to take another Raziat in. Another Raziat in goes in this position, engages the Magariba, I declare flamethrower, we measure and we're just inside of 10 inches, and the other Raziat just burns to death, doing 0 wounds to the Magi. So this is Raziat number 1 and Raziat number 2 is laying next to him. Then the remaining orders are spent on the Daturazi running this direction, taking the shot from the Magi, I template, he templates Zuleika, Zuleika dodges, puts the gas, well, Zuleika dodges the template, puts Liberto Doggett, Liberto dies, Vanguard dies to a chain rifle. I mean, not the Vanguard, but that Razi. So now it's up to me, turn 2. And yeah, we have basically an open board. So Magariba just starts making her way this position, climbs on top of this ladder, goes this position, uses the heavy pistol that I have to kill the Gakis here. Then I shoot like an Ikadron somewhere there. I kill the Oznat here with a flamethrower fork, heavy flamethrower and pistol fork. I think she just dies to a pistol or something. And I leave the Magariba here in suppressive fire. And that's basically my turn, right? I again move my irregular stuff forward because I have nothing else to do with them. Mass Tracker actually manages to make his way to the console. So, my opponent's turn 2. That Razi, that's somewhere here, starts making the way on the, yeah, this is the Magariba. That Razi starts making the way towards the Magariba, throws a smoke first cleanly, second one throws speculatively, then tries to exit the smoke and charge Magariba. That Razi is like 2 inches away from the Magariba, a 2 inches shot. So he tries to dodge into close combat, but I know that this is going to happen, so instead of a flamethrowing him, I have a pistol him. We bounce, nothing happens, and the Razi just stands there next to the Magariba because of the heavy pistol. That's it for my opponent's turn, and it's now my turn. The Barit goes here, the other Barit goes here, then the Mukhtar plus Rafik duo goes all the way here to the enemy deployment zone. Rafik takes this console, this Mukhtar goes into suppressive, and along the way somewhere I shoot that Razi in the back, killing it. Because, well, not in the back, but you know, he can't dodge smoke, he can't do anything, so I kill this that Razi. Suppressive, I have console. Now it's opponent's turn 3. Oops, sorry. Not that. Yeah, opponent's turn 3, basically. Kornak tries his luck against Mukhtar, engages into face-to-face roll dice in the first one. Ikadron tries running away to the Mukhtar. Mukhtar suppresses it to death, and the Ragi dodges the templates. And yeah, that's game. This is a game which is like 9-1, if I remember correctly, because my opponent killed an HVT, which I didn't put, so we decided that we both killed the HVT somewhere along the way. So, really quick game. Sorry that it took so long. I kinda started talking about Hakislam and Floods. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed this very quick game and one and only showcase of Magariba over this course of the tournament against Morats. All in all, I think Magariba, again, is a decent tag, if not for the fact that she's so big that she cannot hide after like a lot of covers. Because even if Magariba is located here, and my opponent climbs even this building, I'm pretty sure he can get the angle to the back of Magariba and shoot her ass, which, you know, it's not really a good place for tag to be. Thanks very much for enjoying, and I hope you see you next time. Bye.